Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Varsity Club Lacrosse podcast presented by Focus on the Field. Now, Focus on the Field is an administrative service provider focused on youth sports organizations. They offer a fully outsourced turnkey solution to the administrative burden facing administrators, coaches, and volunteers. They offer multiple services through administration, communication, registration, and technology. The Focus on the Field team has extensive experience in youth services and parent engagement with a deep understanding of the nuance involved in driving a positive experience. This, combined with years of industry knowledge in youth sports, has enabled Focus on the Field to become the modern solution in optimizing youth sports administration. All right, now back to the episode. Hello and welcome to the Varsity Club Lacrosse Podcast, the world's greatest club lacrosse podcast. Today, we're going to discuss the new city locations for the PLL, our experiences as MCLA players, and some hot takes. But for now, we actually just got some data from our Spotify Wrapped. So for the listeners out there, something interesting is that we're able to see what genre of podcasts you guys listen to. And number one is sports, number two is comedy, and number three is news. So that makes sense that you guys listen to us because we are the number one sports comedy news podcast for lacrosse. What are your thoughts on that, Sam?
All I can do is laugh, dude. All I can do is laugh. You need to keep reading this list. I'll wait till the end.
All right.
It's crazy.
So to the listeners out there, the top music genres were number one, rap, number two, rock, and number three, pop. All right. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad. Not too much diversity, but that's all right.
Hey, we're basic bitches here. Something that's kind of cool is the podcast was shared all over, 42% through text, 27% through direct link, 24% through Instagram, 3% on Twitter/X, and 4% on Twitter. Other. Yeah, I don't know what other is.
What the hell could other be? Dropbox?
Telepathically?
Send it.
All I know is it's more than X. So is Twitter dead?
Of course not. Twitter's not dead. X is dead. We love Twitter.
That's fair. Our number one podcast and most shared was our first one, Who We Are, Dayton Champions, Tucker Hoffman and Matt Cesario, where we had their interview and some hot takes. Our podcast has a rating of 5 out of 5, and it says, "Can you feel the love?" Sam, I can feel the love. Thank you, listeners.
Appreciate all of you, all 10 of you.
And what's truly insane is that it said this year we turned our camera on, and actually this year we just created the podcast in general. But it says in 2023, you made 6 video episodes, now 7, and they were in the top 10% of most viewed. That is fucking insane.
That is so crazy. That's just so funny to me. So unbelievably funny.
We are we're in the top 10% of most viewed videos on
top
Spotify. 10. Top 10.
You can't complain with that at all.
That's why we're the world's greatest.
If you would have asked me, I would have said we were in the top 75%, maybe 10%.
I don't know.
That's a good number.
Am I proud or just sad at Spotify and all of the podcasts not using videos? I don't know.
Well, I'm also thinking there's probably about 25 people who use videos, and the other people are in their mom's basement. So,
hey,
I don't know. We'll see.
We're in that top 10%.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Do you know who else is in the top 10%? Joe Rogan. So shout out to us.
We're up there.
We're up there with him. 30 under 30. Look out for us. Maybe not this year, but next year.
We'll see.
All right, and actually it says give a shout out to our biggest fans. So we're actually a top 10 podcast for 185 fans, which is pretty cool. We're a top 5 podcast for 142 fans. And we are the number one podcast for 49 fans. Wow.
That's sick.
Oh.
Jeez, Brian, watch out. Don't hurt yourself. But those are the people we do this for.
Yeah.
The 49 people, maybe the others as well, but we love you guys.
They might have listened to us once and then stopped listening to podcasts altogether. But you know what?
They don't tell us the specifics.
That's why we're here.
We run with what we got.
Yeah, but that's it for our Spotify Wrapped, or Spotify for podcasters. Sam, on your personal Spotify,
I was just gonna ask you this. Yeah,
Wrapped,
go ahead.
Who is your top artist?
My top artist every year for the last 5 years is Trippie Redd.
Okay.
I was in the 0.1%, and I thought that was about the highest you could get, but I saw someone was 0.05% on someone else's. So I guess I got to step my game up. I'm not a real fan, but not many people though are regular Trippie Redd fans. So it's really not that hard to get up there, but I love that man.
I've never heard of Trippie Redd, so I might have to.
Never heard of?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. There we go.
There we go.
I'm sure a bunch of people on here have definitely not.
Yeah.
I know who yours was though. I saw that. Who's
mine?
Give a little shout out here.
The famous Zoe Kilgren. She is a phenomenal rock star and also my girlfriend. So
yes, sir.
I got some brownie points there for having her be the #1 artist and top 4 best songs, her favorite songs.
I saw one of my friend's wives. Jesus. She didn't even have him in his top 5 or in her top 5. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. That's definitely not brownie points. That's doghouse. But
yeah, that's
yeah.
Couldn't be me though.
It could not be you. You're on top of it.
I'm a good boy.
Yes, you are. Come on. Oh, jeez.
All right. So moving on to our first segment, the news roundup. Sam, what is up with the newest news around the MCLA?
Not much we got going on, but we do have a couple more conference rankings that came out. And of course, got to give these teams their rightful flowers. So first off, we're going CLC D2, and we've got Rhode Island. Again, I'm only naming the top team. You can go find out who the rest of the teams are. And in D1, we've got Boston College, SELC D2, Kennesaw State, and D1, Georgia Tech. So I think that's about close to the end of all the. Yeah, there we go.
I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
That's about the end of all of the conference rankings. I'm not sure we'll have any more out, but yeah, go check them out. I definitely have checked out a few, but I need to look at the most recent ones for sure.
Yeah, I am now, and actually I've always been a huge Georgia Tech fan,
Right.
I'm not a bandwagon fan at all. Georgia Tech is going to go all the way.
Of course not.
Easily.
Well, they really might. They do just about every year. So
yeah, I mean,
not a bad team to root for, huh?
Yeah, it's
and St. Thomas too.
phenomenal.
They're usually in the top. I mean, I feel like they're at nationals every year, but I think they've got a pretty tough conference. So good luck to them.
Tommies will come out on top for sure. All right, so let's move on to some of the other news around the world of lacrosse. That is that the PLL came out with their new cities for their teams. So I'm going to list off each city and their affiliated team. So at first we have Utah, and that is the Archers. Then we got New York has Atlas. Philadelphia has Water Dogs. Carolina, which one, north or south, we don't know, has Chaos. California, the whole damn state, has Redwoods. Maryland has the Whip Snakes. Denver has the Outlaws. And Boston has the Cannons. Sam, what are your first thoughts on the cities being announced?
Bullshit.
Oh,
bullshit, Brian. They suck. They really are so bad. I'm actually so bummed. What a bummer, dude. What a bummer. You're telling me Utah and Denver, they're basically touching tips, dude. They are so close to each other, and fuck Utah. Nobody likes it except for the people in Utah or people who like to go ski at Park City. That's it. Denver and Utah are close enough, but the biggest bummer is no Midwest team. Everyone's been saying it, and it's absolutely true. I actually cannot believe that there's not a single team between Carolina and like Denver or Utah, whatever's closer. I honestly don't know.
The Midwest.
Yeah,
Right now
well,
you're arguing that there's no team in the Midwest, but can't.
Do you count Denver and Utah in the Midwest?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I think it's crazy. I think there's so many lacrosse people in the Midwest that, I mean, I've heard that the Minnesota PLL games were insane. There was like a sold out stadium type thing. And I don't know. I just think that's really sad for all those people who are in those areas and they don't even have a team to root for, like even close. So that's a bummer. And then, dude, I was a Chrome fan, and they're the only team who get their name completely rebranded and their whole team. And like, what do I do with my one Chrome hat now? Keep it for 40 years from now and it's worth $5,000?
Will it actually be?
No.
Yeah.
No, it won't, Brian. And that's the point. It sucks. So now I don't have a team. I don't know who to root for. I'm probably going to be in California because that's closest.
Let's do it. Yes.
Are you a Redwoods fan?
I am now. I was I'm a Trevor Baptiste fan, so I was a Atlas fan.
Yep.
But yeah, now being in California and California having a team, I'm now a huge Redwoods fan. I do have a little bit of beef with the PLL though, because I was an idiot and I bought one of their deals that they had on Twitter or X, where they had a percentage off for a jersey that they had. And then literally a couple days later, they had the entire store at 30% off, and I would have saved like 20 plus bucks.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't been shipped. So
yeah, I got some stuff too. And it was like, said it was going to be 14 days. I was like, there's no way it's going to take that long. That seems like such a long turnaround.
Yeah. So, but hey, California Redwoods, I have not been to the Redwoods yet, but maybe I will now. So
you have to.
I have to.
I mean, it's cool to go see it once.
Yeah.
You drive through it. You go through the tree. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it. You just drive through.
Yeah, basically.
You see some trees and then you leave.
Yeah. That's about it.
That does suck that there isn't a team in the Midwest, or like the true Midwest. I do feel like instead of it being Utah, honestly, I feel like it would be cool if it was like Ohio Outlaws and then Denver Archers. But I guess, I mean, the PLL is an organization. They probably went with the biggest markets.
It's all about the analytics.
Yeah. Which we just spoke about ours on the podcaster wrap. But
yeah, but we're not catering our whole podcast to that now just because we saw some sweet numbers.
Not yet.
True. Once that happens.
I mean, as a top 10% video podcast on Spotify.
What a flex. Honestly, what a flex. I'm putting that in my Twitter bio.
Who would have thought?
Not me, but you know, we got to find out how many podcasts with videos there are first.
Yeah. But
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it is unfortunate that the Midwest doesn't have any representation, but I am excited that there are hopefully going to be more people exposed to the PLL and just lacrosse in general, because I feel like people do become more passionate for their own city's team or state.
For sure.
So I think overall it's a good thing, but maybe there should have been a better choice instead of Utah. I don't know. I've never been to Utah. I haven't heard great things.
Not great at all.
But hey, one of my girlfriend's closest friends, shout out Peyton. He is from Utah and he is the sweetest man. So
I'm sure they're nice people.
Yeah,
man,
great people.
Just come on. Yeah. I also think it's weird that they're still touring, like they're touring based. They're not like actually in those cities playing those games, which they might, if the games are there that weekend. But I don't know. I think it's also just still going to be hard to get people's full attention until there's like a real team there that plays, most of their games, whatever it is. They got home games. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited. I'm still supporting, either way, whatever they do, I'm still in it. But of course I'm going to complain. I love complaining. So
Right.
got to do it.
Yeah, I feel like, I feel like this is just the start of something um, that's going to develop within the next 10, 20 years. Hopefully that they'll actually have set stadiums, etc. But like right now with the funding, um, they're probably just trying to market the team as best as they can and
Right. Absolutely.
trying to tour by doing that. Um, but yeah, once they have enough money to finally like have stable locations and just be able to let the players travel and not as one full unit, like it will pan out and be really good.
That's just going to take a while though, Brian. That is
That's
going
why I
to take,
said 10 to 20 years,
that
man.
is going to take a long time.
I didn't say 1 to
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. Oh man. Looking forward to it though, for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, transitioning to our next segment, we're gonna do a interview on each other. Basically, just discuss how the MCLA experience was for us, if I can remember, and we'll just see how it goes. So, Sam, tell me your favorite place that you played at, not including Eugene. Actually, do you even play at Eugene, or did you guys
Yeah.
have to travel? Okay.
Uh, our first year we played on the rec fields at Eugene. Second and third we played at like the nearby high school because they were building Hayward Field, which is the track and field stadium, which is like the nicest ever.
Mhm.
So it took a long time. So we missed out on sophomore, junior year, and then senior year came back, and it was like a new rec field or whatever, but not really. So yeah, we played in Eugene. Favorite place though to play that I played at was probably UCLA because they did like the Pac-12 shootout. That was a bunch of teams. Some weren't even Pac-12, which is hilarious, but that's club lacrosse. And it was on like the backside of their campus, maybe backside. I honestly don't even know. It felt like it, but they must have had 10 fields there, and we got to play in a stadium sometimes where they had their UCLA scoreboard and everything. I think it was for like soccer or something. So that was honestly so sweet. Felt like a real varsity experience. So
Yeah.
most of the time we're playing on the rec fields or a high school or the grass field or the field where they told you to fuck off and go take that one.
Mhm.
So it's nice to have at least some place respect lacrosse, especially on the West Coast, because that does not happen very often. But yeah, I love that place. Went there a few times. And
Nice.
there's this guy who streams it every year. God bless his soul. He's doing the Lord's work because not many people are going out of their way to film 4 different games going on and like getting a crew for it. So pretty sweet. Shout out to Yellow Hat. Brian, why don't you tell me about your favorite place if you can remember, not including Purdue?
Yeah. So my favorite place that I played at was probably it was in Ohio. I'm not sure if we played Oakland or if it was another team, just like some random team. Uh, but there was snow. It was crazy. It was crazy cold. It's funny because it's like most of my experience in the MCLA, it's like I remember practices more and just like the experience socializing outside of the game. Just because I only played for like 1.5 to 2 years. So we didn't play that many games.
Right.
And it's like the majority of the time, it's like I'm just socializing and being on the bench. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not too much to remember besides other people playing well.
Well, and the games fly by. Like
Yeah,
practices feel like they last forever. Games are like 10 minutes.
yeah. So, but in Ohio, I have beef in Ohio, just because there was one time I was the late escort, I guess. Like, so we had vans, but then we also had like a late bus, which ended up just being me driving my car. Uh, and I'm trying to like not even like speed that much. I was going 11 over
Okay.
um in
Easy.
Ohio. Yeah, which I feel like is standard normally on a highway or a
Yeah.
freeway.
Right.
Um, and I got pulled over and got a speeding ticket, and I was just like, "There's no one on this road. We're just trying to go play lacrosse."
Oh,
And
that's so brutal, dude.
yeah, so we showed up like 5 minutes. I think we, oh shoot, I don't even remember. We showed up like at halftime or something. Um,
You had to say
and
5
it
minutes
was
late and then went to
yeah,
halftime.
yeah, yeah. No, it was like probably 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, maybe. I don't
Okay, yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah.
It was. I was just so upset because it's like I have to pay that ticket.
The
Um,
team didn't pay it.
and it's no, it's my own fault. Like I got a speeding ticket. Um, and yeah, so but that's probably the thing I remember most, or that game. And another game, it was snowing. Uh, I ended up getting a shoulder impingement, which I think I can. Do you hear that?
That's loud,
Is
yeah.
it on? Yeah, yeah. So I still have a shoulder injury, which I'm trying to rehab by myself. Um, and it was snowing out. We won by one on like a last second goal. And shout out to Henry. Um, Plus, he accidentally broke a kid's jaw. It wasn't intentional. It was just a nice hit. It was like honestly, I thought it was a clean hit. But he broke a kid's jaw, and then his sister ended up messaging him on Facebook and just like tearing him a new one. So that was very
No
entertaining.
way.
Yeah.
The sister,
Because like I mean, he had to go to the hospital and
he couldn't
get
type with
his
two
jaw
hands, and
repaired.
so he
Yeah,
knew.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. The sister. That is
Yeah.
nuts. And it's not like we're like professional athletes, so we have thousands of DMs. That's like the one you see. You see that and do they respond?
Um, I believe so. I think Henry was just like, "Hey,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I was just trying to play the game. Like,
I love that.
hit the gym. Like, get bigger."
Damn, that is tough.
Yeah. All right. Tell me about your favorite trip that you guys had for the team.
Oh God. I think honestly every single trip was awesome except for like the Idaho trips and the Washington State trips. Um I think the California ones have to be up there. I think favorite trip though is probably our Maryland trip we took our sophomore year. And yeah, I might get into that later, but
Mhm.
that was just a good trip because I don't think I mean half or more of our team has been on the East Coast before. And we had a few Maryland guys. And so it's cool for them to go back to their hometown and like bring our team from across the country and shit. So I think that was probably my favorite trip. And just because like you get to go out, I mean, every trip's like this, but you get to go out and explore the city and everything. And it's just a good time. Like, yeah, I was looking for some paraphernalia that night and
Mhm.
I've never been to the East Coast, but apparently those people are a little bit more rude than the West Coast. So I go up and I ask her, I was like, "Hey, where did you buy that? Like, can I get that?" And she must have thought I was, undercover or something, but she just like looked at me and I just looked back. I was like, "Damn, it's like that here." I really had no idea, but yeah, that was a great trip. I loved that.
Yeah, I got to say the same for me is going back to Maryland, or the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Um, that's so funny. Yeah, we're definitely. I feel like the DMV area associates itself more with like the upper east side, like New York.
Okay.
Like we are pretty
Yeah.
rude,
Yeah.
um, especially like compared. It's weird because like now living in California, I feel like it's a different type of rude.
Oh,
It's still
absolutely.
rude, yeah. Like it's
Absolutely.
more of like we're open to you being yourself, but we're also gonna judge you if you're not cool.
Yeah.
Um,
You got to be cool
but
though. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I got a mustache, man. Like,
absolutely.
uh, but yeah, going back to the DMV area, shout out to the Cosibas, so Chris Cosibas. He was a Purdue legend. I'll say that. A myth, maybe. But we were able to have like a dinner at his parents' house, and it was really nice to kind of just like have all of us in a suburban house setting, just like fucking 40 of us just eating spaghetti or whatever.
Nice little team dinner.
Yeah, yeah. Those are always. I feel like I'm just being reminded of like the meme of this basketball player being asked, like he just got eliminated from the NCAA tournament, and they ask him like, "What was your favorite moment?" And he's like, "Just eating dinner with the boys." Like, I'm like, honestly, yeah, like just the little
No, that
things of
is
just
absolutely. It is really the little things about, I mean, everything in life, but like specifically club lacrosse. Like I feel like so many times on this podcast, us and different people have just talked about the smallest things that they're gonna remember forever. And I think that's just the beauty of sports, though, in general. I mean, you're always gonna get that no matter what team you're on, wherever you go. It's all about that camaraderie, which is what everybody wants. Like that's why I went back and coached because I was like, damn, I want to be on a team again. Like sucks just sitting here, not having anything to do. You go see your friends every now and then, but it's like you want that like consistent. These are the guys on the sea. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So would you say that's what you miss the most? Is like group camaraderie?
absolutely. I think just like you said, you remember practices more. Like I absolutely remember practices because like you're working hard for sure and you're getting through it. You're grinding, but also you get to have that little time in between drills and whatnot where you get to fuck off and um, joke around with your friends, which I'm always going to appreciate and love. And I know everybody that's listening that's played club lacrosse, especially, knows what those practices are like. Because I'm assuming most everyone's practices are pretty similar, except maybe a select few who are on either end of the spectrum. But uh, yeah, I think just like being with those guys and like I go to Eugene a few times to go to football games, and so I'll see guys. Like I just went to the Civil War, which was fucking awesome. Go Ducks! And I slept at a lacrosse house in someone's bed because they were gone for Thanksgiving, and so I got to hang out with those guys again. It was just it's so like refreshing, and it's refreshing to be a degenerate every now and then. Like you always like doing the things you did in college. So yeah, it was a good time. What about you though? What do you miss about lacrosse? Club lacrosse. Is it also camaraderie?
Yeah, yeah. I think especially after COVID, it was like just group sports, group settings, having having your go-to like your go-to family in a way. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if it's your home away from home.
Right.
And just being able to be surrounded by people who just have a similar interest of playing a sport that you guys love to play. Um, and just creating bonds and just learning more about each other and just talking the shit and goofing off, but also getting to like work out and train hard, blood, sweat, tears, you know?
Yep. Something
Um,
special.
yeah, sounds like we both need to do CrossFit, you know?
Dude,
Just,
I don't know if I keep up with those motherfuckers. It's
yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, like that sense of community is definitely
Yeah.
something that I needed when I was at Purdue, and then something that I feel like um, I'm definitely gonna miss, and hopefully can continue to reconnect with people throughout the years.
Yeah, absolutely. You gonna try and go to a alumni weekend?
Yeah, maybe this upcoming year. I don't know.
Okay.
I gotta work on my cardio. Like
Yeah,
I
dude,
feel like
it's so
now being
bad.
a podcaster for Club Lacrosse, I feel like I need to actually perform well, you
Yep.
know? I
Yep.
can't just talk the talk. And I don't know how many times I've said that I'm a bench player. Like I hype people up. I will try to get ground balls and then give it to a player who can actually do something with it.
Yeah, but
So
those guys are always the scariest alumni games because you're always like, you never know what he's gonna do.
that's true.
And
And
and I'm assuming you're a physical guy, and those guys are also the scariest,
I
especially for the
mean,
little freshmen.
now that I have an arm sleeve, like, come on.
Tough guy. Come on.
Nah, I'm a big teddy bear. Not on the
Soft.
field, but you know.
You can't be.
Mm,
Can't be. You'll get eaten up. I will say
true.
one other thing I missed from playing is all the gear. Like
Yeah.
I never even thought about it until I graduated, but I was like, damn, I could really use some Oregon lacrosse shorts right now because those were I wore really short shorts. They were tight. And so I had the mediums and I was
Mm.
thick then, but I'm a bit thicker now and I don't fit into them like I used to. And the crotch is blown out, but I'm still wearing them because they're the best shorts possible. Like they fit so well.
Mm.
I don't know. It's tough though. I do miss all the gear and the helmets. You know, they always get cool gear. But
Mm.
Oregon got some Four Loco practice pennies and bags. Like it was
Whoa.
like camo, yellow, green, white, gray.
Yeah.
It was nasty. So I'm glad I missed that one. But most years
Did
I'm gonna always miss that.
did you guys get Nike gear because you guys were, I mean, the school's like associated with it,
Um
or since it's club, is it like a
yeah,
different
so
brand?
technically it's club, like so we're not affiliated with the school and so we don't get the shit they do.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of our gear was Nike. Like we had practice shirts and shorts and whatever that were all Nike, but that was through like BSN or whoever it is that gets all the gear for us and puts the logos on or whatever. So we were definitely weren't doing anything with Nike. They
Yeah.
definitely do not care at all, which
Hmm.
they shouldn't. I mean, come on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are Nike, like you guys get all this cool gear." It's like, "No. We pay a lot of money, too much money, and it's still not even enough most of the time." So, yeah, miss that though. I would definitely still pay it. I would pay that right now.
Yeah. The gear is definitely something that I'm gonna miss too. Just having like a swag bag, just like getting all of it at once too.
It's like
Like,
Christmas.
yeah, exactly. Um, all right. So Sam, who influenced you the most while playing at Oregon? Coach, player, friend?
I would say two-parter here. First part, I would say my friends, like my friend group from when we started freshman year. There were a lot of guys who dropped off. We had a huge tryout. A lot of guys didn't stay throughout the years, but that freshman core group we had stayed throughout all four. And so I think that was part of the reason, I wanted to be like the best player and teammate and leader I could be because of those guys. Wasn't always the case. I sometimes was a bad one at all those categories, but it is what it is. You strive for that greatness, cliche. The other part would be Coach Charlie Jackson, who passed away our junior year. And I'd say that sophomore year, it was like it was kind of like it was a shit show almost where he was kind of all over the place. We didn't really like kind of almost respect him thing. And then the assistant coach was a big fucking dickhead. And all of it just like didn't really work out. But that next year he came back and it was like flip it switched almost. And it was awesome. And he just like really wanted to be the best person that he could. And I think that's something I still use in my life and in lacrosse and especially coaching now. I'm like, damn, what would Charlie do? And I know a lot of the Oregon lacrosse players feel that exact same way. And I think that's just a testament to who he was. And, it's good to have someone in front of you that you can like kind of look up to type thing. So yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Jackson. Love that man for sure. What about you though? Who's your influence?
I also have a two-parter.
There we go.
I would say Coach Dan Som, who we interviewed on episode something. Go
Mm-hmm.
check it out. Um, he was definitely just like a good mentor to just kind of be like, he's a good representation of how to be a good man and like a noble person.
Yeah.
Um, he works hard and he just wants the best for other people. So he was definitely a good influence. And then my second part, I would say Andrew Golden and Tommy Chandler. Like the creators of Varsity Club Lacrosse, they kind of reeled me back into the world of lacrosse. I feel like if they didn't reach out to me to do this podcast, would I be as interested in the MCLA? Who knows? But it's really broadened my viewpoint on the MCLA and WCLA and WCLO. Like there is a huge world of lacrosse out there that needs to be discussed, and I'm just grateful to have them influence me to be able to learn more about lacrosse in general.
Well, that's what's cool about this. It's awesome being on here and chit chatting and whatnot, shooting the shit, but it's cool like to learn about all these places, like the Florida State women, and both WCLO/A was awesome. So yeah, I think, and for the people still listening, I'm sure that's part of the reason you're just interested in lacrosse and want to learn more. And I feel like that's really a hard source for people to get, like, is a lacrosse podcast that's giving people information about not just this one specific thing, but a bunch of things. So I'm not trying to toot our horn because it's absolutely not what I'm doing, but I think it's just nice. It's refreshing to hear lacrosse talked about, so.
Nice. So you play goalie.
Me?
Yes.
No,
No?
hell no. I'm scared of the ball.
You didn't play goal. What the heck?
I played defense.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
well, damn.
that
I
is
was gonna
funny.
say, if
No,
you
I
didn't play
could
goalie,
not.
what position would you play? So if you didn't play defense, what position? What do you? Okay,
Not goalie.
fuck
I
this.
wouldn't pick
Not
goalie.
goalie. All right,
I'd pick midi to answer your question, Brian.
midi.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the reason I play defense is because I can't shoot the ball, and so I feel
Mm.
like I could get away with that playing midi, where I could like bully my way on a short stick and then like get in close and finish that thing. But if there wasn't a defensive position in lacrosse, I wouldn't be playing probably because
Mhm.
I cannot shoot the ball. That
Yeah.
is, yeah. What about you?
Nice.
What other position other than D mid? Goalie? Are you?
Well, yeah, also couldn't shoot, so I did do D midi.
Yeah, that's how all defenders and goalies are. I feel like you just can't play offense, go to defense.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of wish I did attack. Um, just I wish, yeah, I wish I mean, when I started playing lacrosse, I was just 6'2", like 200 pounds. So they're
Yeah.
like, all right, like you're playing defense. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, like sure, why not? Um, kind of like for me personally, for basketball, like I was 6'2", almost 200 in 7th/8th grade. So
Mhm.
like, all right, you're center. Like you've always been tall. You're gonna be a center. And then like
Yep.
literally when the doctors told me I was gonna be 6'6", I stopped growing. So
He
I
told
feel
you
like,
you're gonna be 6'6".
yeah.
You stopped
And then
growing.
I literally stopped growing.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Wow.
Yeah. So I was 6'2" in 7th and 8th grade, and then I just stopped, and then everyone else started getting taller. Um, so yeah, like just I've always played. I played D line in football. I played defense for lacrosse. Like I was the center for basketball. It's always like the
You're playing the big boy position.
yeah, the big boy positions without skill. Yeah. So
Just straight brute force.
yeah, so I'd love to kind of be more skillful and like force myself to have better stick skills and play attack. And I feel like there's a little stigma about some attackmen are just lazy and they can just like they don't have to run that much, but they still get whacked like from being on the other end and hitting the shit out of
Mhm.
them. It's like they got to be tough too.
Yeah, I don't like that part either. I don't like the whole getting smacked full speed with a stick. I was like, I think I'm good on that. I'll take
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 a game, but like 15 would be nuts.
Yeah. Man.
Last question, Brian.
Yeah, final question.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for high school lacrosse players thinking about playing in college?
I think what I would say is start your recruiting process early if that's something you're into. And if it is, keep your options open to whatever that may be. I mean, I know a lot of NCAA transfers that have talked about how they don't like it and it's too much, but they're too far into it. They can't get out type of thing. And I know a lot of NCAA transfers I know a lot of NCAA people, first part, know a lot of NCAA transfers who have transferred to the
He knows a
MCLA.
lot of people.
Yeah, and have loved it. And so I think a lot of people like myself had that stigma of like NCAA or bust type of thing. And then I was like, oh, I gotta go to club lacrosse. And then it ended up being awesome. And I think a lot of people have that mindset where it's like, the hell is club lacrosse? Like, why would I do that? yeah, I just think keep your options open and yeah, don't close those doors. What about you? I got to ask you a full question here. What advice do you have for high school lacrosse players thinking about playing in college?
Um, Go to Japan. Have you seen
Dude, I was
that
gonna say
video?
something about that.
Yeah, that
That
was
shit was
awesome.
awesome. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I don't mean to cut you off. Keep going though.
No, you're good. No, the shout out to Japan. The game is growing a lot over there, especially at their universities. A video just
Mhm.
went viral about how many fans were there and like just going crazy. Um, Realistically, I mean, I had a very different way of coming into the MCLA. It's like I wasn't going to college for lacrosse. I knew I wasn't. Um, I got asked to see if I wanted to play for like D2 or D3 teams for football, and I was like, I have no idea. Like, I'm just going wherever my parents want me to go.
Yeah.
Got into a top 10 engineering program. Boom, go in there. Can't say no. Um, so I would say if if you want to play lacrosse, you can go and play lacrosse. You're going to have your own unique experience no matter what university you go to. Um, I would say try to think of the bigger picture of what you want your life to be past lacrosse. Um, Seeing what is the best fit for you for the life that you want to live once you graduate your university, not just your high school, um, and figuring out what is the best option for you for not only for having fun at school or um, a team that you really want to play for, but just your overall career with what you want to do for the rest of your life. Yeah, no big deal. Just figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life and then choose the best option. You know, it's that easy.
Crazy. And then when you
But
get there, it's the same thing, picking your major.
yeah,
Yeah.
but honestly, just I think we talked about this in another podcast, but it's like if your school doesn't have a club team, like try to create one. Like um there is opportunities out there and you're going to find whatever school and whatever fit is going to be best for you. You just got to look for it.
Yeah, and there's definitely a group of kids at like every college across the US that wants to play lacrosse but doesn't have the opportunity to. And like Toby was on our last podcast and he was talking about how he kind of started things a little bit, and I think it's, you know, I think it's there's definitely an opportunity to do that if need be. I kind of just rambled for no reason, but if anyone's
No, you're
listening that
good.
goes to a college doesn't have a club team, go do it.
Also, I just realized I was talking about Oakland and I think I was supposed to say Oakton, not Oakland. So
Oakton?
I think Oakland is in California and I think Oakton is in Ohio.
There's two Oaklands
Oh, I don't fucking know, man.
because Toby didn't go to the one in California.
Okay,
He went
okay.
to I don't know where it is though.
Yeah. I'm
No
gonna
idea.
got that out. But can't make myself look
do
stupid on here,
do
man.
mine too, bro. Do mine.
No,
Take
no,
my
I'm
shit out.
keeping that in.
Come on.
All right, wait. We should say one more thing.
Yeah, we got
Yeah, no,
hot
we have hot
takes.
takes and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, there's for someone who didn't expect to be playing club lacrosse, it's definitely one of the highlights of my college life experience. Even if you never played lacrosse before, like you can try to pick it up, and if it's a really shitty team, you might be able to make it. So either way, you can meet a bunch of cool people, and it doesn't hurt to try something new.
Damn right.
All right, for our final segment, we're gonna have hot takes. Sam, do you want to go ahead and start with your hot take?
Yeah, I'll start. I don't think it's a hot take. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who definitely agree with me, but I think majority would probably say it's a hot take. And that is that Thanksgiving dinner is mid.
Mid.
It's like not that great. There's nothing I'm like, holy shit, Thanksgiving, let's go. I'm not like looking forward to it. I think mashed potatoes and gravy, you really can't go wrong. You got some like rolls type situation, throw some butter and some jam on it. And like turkey's all right. It's there. I don't hate it, don't love it. Stuffing, not a huge guy, not a huge stuffing guy. And then it's like you have your things here and there that people do differently. Like we have meatballs, which is awesome. That's my favorite part, but that's not a Thanksgiving meal. We just throw that on.
Mm.
So I think a lot of people are over overrating Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. What do you think? You a fan?
I I don't know if I'm a fan. I feel like I feel like the the education system in the US has kind of forced us to like Thanksgiving food because
Yeah,
you remember when it was about Thanksgiving time and they ended up having Thanksgiving food for like multiple days in a row.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like that has kind of triggered something in me to be like for Thanksgiving, I'm like, all right, like my kid food, yeah, like some nostalgia. It's nice.
Kid food. That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, but I mean, I think it's fairly rated. I feel like people don't overhype it because, I mean, if it was overhyped, we'd be having it more often, right? Not just
Well,
like
but then
one
it's
week.
almost like I don't know. I feel like it's more treasured if it's on one day. Because if I had it too much, I would definitely not be eating it. That
Yeah,
is not something I can keep eating on like a monthly basis.
yeah, okay.
But yeah,
Honestly, I just thought Thanksgiving food was just like, have you ever had Boston Market?
mm-mm.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't even know what that
Uh,
is.
I see. Wow, this is. Do you know what? Now that I am thinking about it, there isn't a Boston Market in California, so that makes sense.
There's probably not
Um,
one even close.
yeah, but in Virginia, growing up, there's a place called Boston Market, and they basically had like their sides could be like like mashed sweet potato,
Oh yeah.
uh, mashed potatoes, gravy, like creamed spinach. You can get like whole chickens and stuff. Like cornbread, etc. And I was just like, oh, like they just sell Thanksgiving food. Like,
Was it fire
so
though?
yeah, it was pretty fucking good.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out to Boston Market, maybe a future sponsor. Um, yeah, Thanksgiving food, I feel like it's more about the experience instead of the actual
Yeah,
food.
definitely.
Um, fun fact, at my Friendsgiving this year, we accidentally undercooked the turkey and somehow like smoked the entire apartment. Um, so shout out to Sloan for trying your best at hosting. It was very fun. You were an amazing host. I'm sorry that you were super stressful or super stressed about it, but it was a great time.
Undercooking the turkey. That's got to be brutal.
Yeah.
Could you eat it?
I did not,
Yeah,
but
good move.
some other people did. Hopefully, it was edible. I might even have to cut this out. I'm sorry, Sloan. Or I'll leave it in. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do?
Who
I'm
knows? All right,
wild.
Brian. What's your hot take?
All right, so my hot take actually has something similar with Thanksgiving for some
Okay,
people. For
sure.
some people, because I think that this actually was discussed at my Friendsgiving, but it is a big year. It's a massive year for Brussels sprouts. I feel like
Why do you even say that? A big
be-
year for Brussels
it's a
sprouts.
big year for Brussels sprouts. I feel like most people, I didn't know about Brussels sprouts until maybe the last couple of years. But whenever I would think about Brussels sprouts, I would think about, I don't know, like Rugrats or something. And it was just so disgusting, like just absolutely terrible. But I feel like most of my friends, at least out in Los Angeles, so this is very skewed data. But I feel like they all had like Brussels sprouts with like cranberries and like maple vinaigrette, like at Thanksgiving. Like there was a Brussels sprout dish. So I just think it's a massive year for Brussels sprouts. I think they are a huge hit. Sam, what are your thoughts on
I
Brussels sprouts?
I do love Brussels sprouts. I'll eat that
Okay.
like weekly. Right. I wouldn't even call that a hot take. That's like that's a crazy take. I don't
I,
even know what to categorize that as.
I feel like they had a bad rep for many years, but this year
I'd
has
agree
been
with that. Okay.
they've stepped up and they're having a big year.
All right, Brussels sprouts are turning up. All right, I'm waiting
Yeah.
to see it.
Throughout Thanksgiving dinner's mid, okay? How about that?
It is. All right. It is.
All right, that's all for this episode of the Varsity Club Lacrosse Podcast. If you guys want us to answer any questions, you can email us at varsityclublacrossepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer them later. Make sure to tune in next time for more exciting content about the world of club lacrosse. You can follow us on Instagram at Sam_Criscola and at Brian Plunkett Lopez. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
We out.